Welcome back to the Purple Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Ben.
I'm Rick.
And it's that time of the week where we go through last week's headlines, find the headline heroes, find that little purple area between the lines. So this week, over here in New York, we got that election coming up. Those signs, the big red circle,
Yeah.
King Coumo.
Yeah.
So Coumo finally decided to debate somebody. But instead of debating everybody, he just went with Molinaro, the Republican candidate.
Yeah, kind of like a germaphobe. You know, he just doesn't want to be around too many politicians at once, so he only picks one.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, strategically, he waited till like the last minute.
Yeah, because he already knows the last thing he wants to do is get out in front of actual voters and speak.
Yeah, he hates being around other people. But I know you weren't able to watch it, but I clicked in for a little bit. And I couldn't make it through it just because the way kind of both of them were acting, but mainly Coumo.
Wow.
He was like a child in an argument.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be there.
No, he didn't want to be there. I think he was the party forced him to be there.
Yeah, somebody finally said, "Hey, look, you got to debate somebody."
Yeah, how bad does it look when Andrew Cuomo is like, "Yeah, I'm just not going to debate anybody."
Well, you know what it is. He believes that he doesn't have to debate. He believes the seat's rightfully his, whether the people want him there or not.
Which goes back to like the whole King Cuomo thing.
I
mean,
yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Larry Sharpe hit the nail right on the head when he's got the governor pegged pretty well.
I'd like to know why. I mean, you know me. I think that there should be a way to do a debate with all of them, or maybe they have to set aside time so that maybe it's over a couple of debates, but everybody debates everybody. Because 5 people would be just too much to deal with, especially watching the theatrics last night.
Oh, well, I
It'd be
mean,
too much to deal with.
Yeah, go back to the presidential debates. They had them slotted, 2 rows of 5 or 6, a million people running.
Yeah.
And Trump mowed their grass for him while they weren't paying attention.
But Larry Sharpe's up to like 30%, right? Almost.
I think he's got to. If he's not, he's awful close. But it's not like there's 14 people trying to get the nomination. There's 5.
Right.
Okay. So why not have all 5 up there? I mean, normal politicians, they abide by the 1 minute, the rebuttal, however many seconds that is. Cuomo apparently does not. He just believes in talking till they finally, he runs out of shit to say, apparently. I don't know how.
And interrupting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know why they do that, right? It's because they're insecure.
And I think they're trying to throw them off or just cut out some of their time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally strategic. I get that. But the way he was acting yesterday, I wrote down in my notes, la 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 la, I don't hear you. I mean, that's literally the way I saw it last night.
Yeah, that's tragic. That's a guy running the state right now.
And the sad thing is, and I hate to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but he's most likely going to win just because of the way New York State votes.
Yeah.
I mean, Larry Sharpe does have a real good chance because of the Democratic crossover.
Listen, I really like a lot of things Larry Sharpe says, and I will say this. If he could actually get some media coverage, and I'm talking mainstream, we know he's doing grassroots stuff. He's using Twitter, Facebook, those other venues. But if he actually gets out in front of Democrat and Republican voters and speaks, and they actually listen instead of doing the blue or the red curtain where, they're not listening. They're just they don't even know what you said. They disagree.
Yep.
If that happens, he can knock him. He can knock him out of his chair.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. And, from my understanding, I didn't watch the debate, but it almost sounded like, what's his first name? Mark, is it Mark Molinaro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I really don't, when I know I joke a lot, but I at least got his last name now.
I'm horrible with names. I just used last names.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember.
The Republican guy actually, came across a little bit, better, I think, was my understanding of it.
I was impressed. And you could tell that Cuomo was trying to fluster him and get him angry. And Molinaro showed it. Like, you could see him I just made a face that people can't see, but he was making faces. Like, you could tell he wanted to, like, flip the table.
Yeah.
And Cuomo knew what buttons to push. in things. I mean, he at one point he accused him of wanting to put all women in shackles, but he didn't want to explain what that was. And then when Molinaro was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! You've been interrupting me this whole time, and now I can't answer your accusation."
Yeah.
I mean, it was totally, as far as I'm concerned, it was a legit thing. He
Yeah.
voted on a bill that would allow, like, prison doctors to shackle the legs of pregnant women during childbirth, but not just women, violent repeat offenders. Like, it wasn't just any woman. I mean, come on, don't twist his words. And then to go on national television, or at least regional television, and say Mark Molinaro wants to put women in shackles, that's an accusation that he's allowed to rebut.
Yeah.
When you've been interrupting and complaining that he's going to rebut you, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
That's all I got out of it last night was Andrew Cuomo is an asshole. And you could tell, you just, the looks on his face, the way he used his hands when he spoke, but to go back to it, I was impressed by Molinaro. I mean, I did like a lot of the things that he had to say. A lot of the things he had to say were kind of some of the things that Larry Sharpe was saying. A little bit more extreme, but I don't know.
I think the governor, I don't know what his numbers are, but it almost seems like maybe things are going a little south on him. So maybe he's in panic mode. I mean, why else would he make a statement like that and then not want the guy to clarify? Why would you even bring that up? I mean,
he's just trying to throw out dirty stuff.
Yeah, but you know what, though? If you really are confident in what you're doing and what you've been doing and you got going on, you don't need to say shit like that.
And you're not afraid of debating people.
Yeah.
Which
so you can rest on your work. I've done this, I've done that. Not by, I don't like his shirt and he wants to shackle women. I mean, come on,
I heard something different when you said that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I get it.
Yeah.
But, all right, so while we're talking about elections, let's go over east to Vermont. They had an election for the House seat where a Republican and a Democrat debated in a library.
Yeah, I heard about this. You definitely will not catch Cuomo and Molinaro doing anything like this.
No, and these guys reminded me of Larry Sharpe. We keep bringing up Larry Sharpe. I hate picking a side, but we've picked a side. There's nothing we can do about it.
I got to tell you, Ben may have picked a side. I haven't. I'm still down the middle. Vote Sharpe. And I'm just saying, Larry Sharpe, vote Larry Sharpe for governor. I'm just saying, I'll make a decision, probably when I get to the polling station.
But like Larry Sharpe, these people have gone around to like 2,000 homes, footed to 2,000 homes, knocked on their doors.
Makes a difference, man.
Yep. They did a debate in a local library. But at the end of this, they said, hold on a second. Can we have, 10 more minutes? I know the debate's over. I appreciate all of you coming. Do you mind giving us 10 more minutes? We have something for you, the voters. And what was his name? Zach Mayo and Lucy Rogers. Lucy's the Democrat, Zach's the Republican. Lucy brings out, I believe it was a cello. Zach brings out an acoustic guitar. And they did a duet together. Now, what I didn't realize until almost today, I read this story days ago, but today was the first day it clicked in my head. No, that means these two had to practice together.
Yeah.
So even if they're doing it over Skype or whatever, they've been taking time. They're fighting each other, not literally, but they're fighting for the same seat, yet they're taking time away from their strategic arguments and stuff to come up with a song for the people and to show people that we need to come together with all the parties.
And it shows me that they're nonpartisan.
Well, yeah, they're willing to work with the other side. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so, I don't know what platform either one of them have, but, unless it's something crazy left or crazy right, you may not have a bad pick here.
Yeah, so Zach said, I like this quote. Sorry, I lost it in my notes for a second. Zach said, it strikes a chord to say to the world that this is a better way. I mean, that says it all right there. There is a better way. The 100% of the country isn't Democrats. 100% of the country isn't Republicans. And 50% isn't either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we all have different beliefs and ideas, and we have to do what's majority the best for everybody.
Yeah.
Even you and I, we pretty much are straight down the same line.
Yeah, I think so too.
We disagree on things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
But it doesn't make me hate you, and it doesn't make me accuse you.
Yeah, you haven't disowned me yet.
Shackle women and all kinds of the crazy shit that goes on.
And CBS News, who first reported this story, they saw signs after this debate from houses with both their names in it. So people put the Democrat and Republican. I mean, that's how much of an impact just that little thing did.
You know, it sounds like they're bringing their community together. It's too bad some more seasoned veteran politicians in Washington could not be bothered to do the same thing.
Yeah, and bringing it back to New York, I just want to point out. So the women voters of New York at College of St. Rose in Albany have sponsored a forum for the people running for governor of New York State. Andrew Cuomo still hasn't responded to them.
Oh, yeah.
But, so yeah,
Molinaro, Larry Sharpe.
Is it Hugh Howey?
Or Howie Hawkins. Larry
Who's
Sharpe.
Hugh Howey. Oh, he's a book writer.
I don't know. But you got Larry Sharpe. And then
Stephanie Minor.
And
They're
Stephanie
all gonna be
Minor
there.
and Larry Sharpe.
Yep.
So there's a lot of guys named Larry Sharpe.
There's like four guys named Larry Sharpe. It's going to be a weird
What about
debate.
the Sex and the City lady? Is her political career over with now? Or?
I don't know if it's over, but she's out of this.
Well, because Friends and Family took their thing and gave it to Cuomo.
Working Party.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, but no, I do believe she fully pulled out. She said she wasn't going to continue going, even though I think she probably should have, just to pull more votes away from Cuomo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever we could do to pull votes.
Yeah, whatever you can do to pull votes.
You know, if you're listening and you did like Cynthia Nixon and you don't want to vote for any other people, write in Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. It's what I would do.
So for our hot topic this week.
Actually, you know what?
Uh-oh.
I want to go back. All right. Here's what I want you to do. All right. Because if you're not hot on Cynthia Nixon, I don't want you to write her name in. Write in Rick and Ben. That's what you do.
Write in Rick and Ben.
Yep. I mean, if you can't vote Larry Sharpe, just write in Rick and Ben. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, and just put on there which one you want us to be lieutenant governor and which one you want.
We don't
figure
even
it out
care.
when we get there.
We'll toss a coin.
Yeah.
Don't even sweat it.
Don't get me laughing before this next story.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to laugh about this story.
Yeah, this one's I should have changed the order. I didn't realize we'd be laughing that much. I thought we were going to be heated about it.
Do you want to move this to the back or something?
No, let's just get it over with. So, a Brooklyn woman falsely accused Parma Heights police chief of rape. And they were able to just go through, easily and figure out that she falsely accused him. But I brought this up because, I brought this one up because of the next article, but we're living in a time of just believe her. This man, his name is, I'm going to butcher this so bad, Chief Sharpe. He had just been named chief, and then like a month later, he is accused of sexually assaulting a 40-year-old woman.
But she lied about it?
It's proven that she lied about it, and she has admitted to lying about it. But this goes back to the other week when I was talking about how it's now a weapon.
Yeah, this feeds the machine when this stuff happens.
They haven't proved why she did it. Like, I don't think she was arrested, and then she was like, oh, but he raped me. She just came up out of the blue and accused him of rape. She said that he drove down to her.
15 minutes of fame.
That's kind of the way I was thinking, was because of how popular it is, that she was trying to get the 15 minutes. But she said he drove down to where she was, told her to get in his car, and that she owed him favors for a deal they had made earlier, he got her out of something.
Yeah.
So it gets brought up to his bosses. His bosses send it to whoever for investigation, and the investigators start interrogating her. And then they find out she can't describe his office. Now, why would she need to be able to describe his office? Because this lady said he raped her in his office.
Oh.
I assumed it was in the car, and all of a sudden the article took a twist, and somehow they made it from the car to the office.
Good thing you weren't headline hero in it.
That's right. So she made it all the way to the office. She couldn't describe the office. She was in the car. she described the wrong car.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And then the date that she accused him of doing this, his mom had actually gotten hurt. And I'm sorry that she got hurt, but it was a good thing she got hurt because him and his siblings, I believe, picked up their mom, took her to the hospital, and it's documented that they stayed in the hospital with her all night.
Oh,
he
wow.
wasn't even available.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
when they did some more investigation, they found on her cell phone Google searches, quote, "Can you go to jail for lying to police on a police report?" What? Why would you type that in? Everybody knows that stuff can come back. And then she kept searching for Parma Heights sex scandal. Now, at first you think that she's doing it to sue the station.
Yeah.
That's usually, I mean, that's
You would
because I think they
get
said
paid.
that she was, somewhere in there she was charged with some sort of like money scam.
Oh,
But Sharpe, I hate that name. I can't say it. Sharpe says that to his knowledge, she has not asked for any money, and that's where we get the 15 minutes of fame from.
right.
But my thing is, and like I said, we brought it up because, or I'm bringing it up because this is just to a T. It's just a couple weeks late. Exactly how I feel about this. It's just we just allow it to go too easy. But this is also showing the other side, where it's not so easy because with the right amount of investigation, it goes right away.
Here's the problem that this lady creates. She makes it harder for real victims to come forward.
Yep.
It's going to even cast more doubt on real victims because of people like this that do things like this. And then because of her actions, it feeds right into that machine, that this is a problem. There's a bigger problem. This is what needs to happen. If you're a victim, you report your crime. The person you're accusing is innocent until proven guilty. That's how the justice system is supposed to work. It's not guilty till proven innocent. It's innocent till proven guilty.
But guilty until proven innocent is where we've come to now. Now we're at a point where you're guilty, and then, well, you're not guilty. Just one side of
public perception is you're guilty.
Yeah, public perception, and it's one half of public perception.
Yeah.
I don't want to name them, but it's just you're automatically guilty, and then so this just popped into my head. I was watching the TV today, and Alyssa Milano, who is one of those just believer people, is backing Andrew Cuomo. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Geez.
Yeah, she's backing Andrew Cuomo. She's one of those, I believe her, just believe her. Doesn't matter if there's no proof, just believe her.
You can't do that.
But here's a question.
That's how innocent people go to jail. That's how innocent people have their lives ruined.
Right.
Their family. It's not just one person that's affected. It's the family and the friends of the accused. They suffer too.
Yep.
And then no matter what, there's always that certain percentage, even once you're found innocent, there's that certain percentage that'll say, oh, he got away with it.
Yeah.
There's always that doubt.
He's going to change his way he is in his neighborhood. I bet you some of his neighbors now still think he probably did it.
I guarantee it.
Maybe. Who knows? But my question is, so what if, because the woman's name was Davis, what if Davis had been better at her research? So she knew enough not to Google, can I get in trouble for lying to the police, and was able to find it a different way. She went to the library and just looked at law books until she found it. Then she went to the police station and she saw Schmidt's car. And then she was able to do this on a day that he decided he'd go. He just was sick of his family and he wanted to go out. I get that's a lot of dominoes to fall into place.
Right.
But they fall into place all the time. I mean, it's really not a lot. All she has to do is get a day where he's
It's
sick
a few
of his family.
things. He just has to be...
And then she accuses him.
Yeah. He's just got to be by himself. She's got to have an idea what his office looks like or a piece of furniture in there.
Instead of saying the office, just say the car.
Yeah.
Now she's accused him until, in our society, until you can prove that he actually did it, he's innocent. But my problem is now he has to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
So she's got all this information. even though there's no forensic evidence, he probably would have been in a lot more. The police department probably would have separated.
He'd have probably had
way
to
with him.
step down, and you know,
And that's what I got out of the story. Is just a couple of things fell into place. This guy's life would have been ruined. Luckily, they didn't.
Yeah, I've got a better one for you.
Uh-oh.
I saw this video within the last week, and it was about a young man who went into, it was like a Walmart or something with his mother. He had a backpack on, and there was a lady bent over the counter doing something, reaching for something, and as the young man walked past her, he turned with his back, and the backpack touched her rear end. He didn't notice it. She kind of turned and looked, saw that he was there, and the mother and the son had walked away. And she called 911 and said that the young man grabbed her ass.
But they got it on video, though, right?
She didn't know that.
Oh.
So the police come up. The kid's, he's like 11 or 12. He's bawling uncontrollably.
Oh, it was only like 11-year-old?
Yeah. And the mother's, you know, beside herself. And after one of the police officers asked for the video to be pulled, you could see clearly, literally, his backpack kind of bumped her in the butt.
Yep.
I don't even think he realized that his backpack touched her.
Probably not.
And she didn't actually see him. She just felt something touch her rear end.
Yep.
Could have been anything. He could have walked by. He could have did it with his elbow and not knowing about it. She called the cops. And then at the very end, even after it was proved he didn't do nothing, you know, this kid's probably scarred, right? Somebody asked her, said, you know, aren't you going to even apologize? And she hesitated. And she said, young man, I am sorry. That was her apology.
At least she did that. Because a lot of them would have been like, no.
You know, I got news for you, man. I watched it. It was not sincere.
If I was that kid's mother, I probably would have smacked the shit out of her. I'm
yeah.
not afraid to say it.
Yeah, the mom was upset. You know what's funny was they asked the young man, how are you, whatever, do you forgive this lady, or are you upset with her, or do you forgive her? And he said, no, I forgive her. I mean, he was quick to forgive her. And that's an
11-year-old.
And the mother said, he's a better person than me, or something like that. Like, and as a parent, I just pictured that happening to my son, which my son.
Yeah.
Okay. I would be stunned if somebody made that accusation.
Yep.
And I could and this young man, I just saw my son, happening to. And then I heard the echoing words of, it's a dangerous time to be a young man in America.
It is.
And I got to tell you, I don't believe that, okay? I don't believe that.
I 100% believe that.
But after witnessing that, I am more inclined to believe that than to not believe it.
So let's flip this story, because you got a son and a daughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your daughter's standing in line. She turns around. Her backpack hits the lady's butt. The lady turns around and sees your daughter there. How does that scenario go?
She doesn't say anything. She just
like,
assumes it was an accident.
Yeah. She's like, oh, the backpack hit me. But an 11-year-old boy is over there grabbing your ass. Shut up.
Listen, I didn't say this till now. It was a young black male and a white middle-aged woman.
That's even worse now. Because she saw the black kid and just assumed that he's... I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
We're about to get into
let me tell you
something.
something.
Trouble.
And you know what? And I don't say this to be rude, but it's not like he looked like a gangster or anything. He looked like a goober. He looked like my own son. He just looked like an 11-year-old goober with a backpack shopping with his mother, And his reaction to the accusation, I literally could feel it. It was like I could feel my son going through that. I felt so bad for him. If there was anything I could do to make that kid's day better, honestly, I would just do it, because I was so mortified that he went through what he went through.
He probably doesn't even know what she was accusing him of. Like, you and I at 11, I honestly think kids today, and this is a subject for another time, but because we could go on for an hour about this, I honestly think kids today mature and learn slower than when we were kids.
I think so.
I think a lot of it has to do with the way we're raising our children.
Yeah, absolutely.
And other people are raising their children. But so at 11-year-olds, we knew about butts and we always wanted to touch butts and boobs. Ooh, you
Yeah.
know, and that's 11-year-olds. I don't think 11-year-olds are like, I mean, maybe some, but I think for the majority, 11-year-olds are like Twitter, video game,
Yeah.
plushy toy, you know?
Yeah,
They're not looking at
Yeah,
butts and stuff.
I don't think you're far off from that. You know,
But so you to turn around and see an 11-year-old, and the first thing you think is that this poor kid wanted to touch your butt. A, you got high thoughts of yourself.
yeah.
I want to see this lady now. I'd pick her apart. I'd be such a chauvinist male.
You know, I could really be rude, but I want to be better than that, and I don't want to lower myself.
That's my job.
Yeah.
I'm the rude one.
Yeah, I don't want to lower myself to her level. What she did was disgusting. And I'll tell you this, I've been bumped with a backpack before. It doesn't feel like anybody's copping a feel when you get hit with a backpack.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you know, I'm not even sure. And she was so adamant. It showed her placing the phone call, talking. It was so adamant, you know. And then, you know, I mean, what'd she think? It wasn't on video? At that point, when you ask for the store manager and say, hey, do you have video? I think this kid grabbed my ass.
Yep.
Instead of 911.
God, I just hope she looks like an asshole. I'm going to have to find that video.
She
later.
looks like an asshole.
All right, so let's go to my headline hero for the week. Still on the sexual assault case. So after that sexual assault with the police officer, like 2 articles away. Like this week was a weird week because it was a set of articles that just contradicted each other.
Yeah.
Just went perfectly together, just back to back. TheRoot.com, and they're I'm almost positive they're a super liberal thing, posted a headline that says cops sexually assault at least 100 women every year and no one talks about it. Well, stupid. The article just before you just fucking talked about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's your headline hero right there. It's talked about all the time, but that's not the only reason why they're headline heroes. And I do not deny that cops sexually assault 100 women every year. I hear stories all the time. You know, I'm not denying that. But then you read their article and never once do they talk about convictions. They just talk about charges.
Yeah, there is a difference.
So just 2 articles before, I'm going to keep going back.
Yeah, there's a charge.
There was a charge.
It was definitely unfounded. She admitted to lying.
So you can't say that in a 9-year period, 1,260 women or 1,260 police officers were charged with sexual assault. Therefore, hundreds of women, and this is what they're basing their findings off of. That's where my headline hero comes in.
Manipulating statistics. That's all they're doing.
So, I mean, it says between 2005 and 2013, 39 charges were brought against officers for assisting or promoting prostitution. There are 86 charges for outright prostitution. Okay, I give it to you. Those might all be true. How many were convicted?
Yeah.
That's what your job as a reporter is. Don't report the possibility. Report the fucking fact.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are charged with stuff that never even ends up going to trial or getting, you know, going very far. You know, so you can't go by, you know, okay, this many were charged. Okay, that means nothing. How many were convicted? And it's not like there's 100 police officers in the country. And it's not like, you know, it says cops sexually assault at least 100 women every year. You know what? I guarantee doctors do. I guarantee
dentists. We
clergy,
all know dentists do.
Dentists. Yeah.
What is it with dentists?
I don't know. You're underneath.
You get that laughing gas.
Yeah, you're down. Like, you know, you're
jiggle.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, man.
Why am I the guy that has to do all the mean stuff?
I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, nobody ever gets accused of sexually assaulting the women except for police officers. You're almost like vilifying, you know, listen, I'm not saying every cop is good and I'm not saying they're all perfect. Okay. But you know,
nobody is in any industry.
Right. It doesn't matter what you do. There's good and
Jeffrey
bad.
Dahmer's had a job.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, it's
eating
changing.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, but I mean, you know, you're vilifying cops, you know, they're already, you know, have a bad rap, you know, and I think as a news agency, I think you're piling on. You're taking statistics that are twisted, manipulated, and not following through from A to Z, and you're piling on. You're piling on.
Right. I have no problem saying that people are sexually assaulted by police, firemen. I have a problem.
Don't deny it. I don't deny it.
100%. I have a problem with assuming guilt and putting these numbers out there, and none of them are convictions.
Yeah, because that's all it does.
Like they talk about RAINN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. Great organization, but they put out numbers. It says only 31% of rapes are reported, with a scant 5.7% leading to arrest. Well, all right, so right there, that's implying that all 31 are real.
Right.
Not always. It says only 6 out of every 1,000 rapists will ever be convicted for their crimes. If they're not convicted, how can we keep calling them rapists? That's my problem. And I get that 6 out of the 1,994, I get that some of them really did get away with their crimes.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, but maybe 994 didn't get away, but you're lumping them all together.
Yeah, you're lumping them all together. That's my problem. That's why the root.com or whatever the hell they were. What were they?
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to even get, well, because the root might be a better. Yeah, it is. It's the root.com. They're my headline hero of the week.
Yes.
So, Rick, when was the last time you put on your wife's dress?
Well, thankfully for me, I don't think my wife owns any dresses. Oh, actually, yes, she does.
I did wear a muumuu one year for Halloween.
A muumuu? Yeah. You know, there's a small difference between myself and my wife. I don't think I could fit into one of her dresses.
So this week, a man, I believe it was in Texas, his son was getting lippy with his mom. And the man was like, you keep doing that, I'm going to walk you to your bus in your mom's dress. All the kids can laugh at me. I don't care because they'll be laughing at you. Kid was basically like, screw you. I don't believe you. Father went in, put on a dress, and walked him to the bus and waved to him on his way off.
Wow.
And then the assholes come out on Facebook and social media. And I guess they blew him apart to the point where he pulled down his post. Now, people.
I wouldn't have pulled my post down.
Stop pulling down your fucking posts.
Yeah. Stand your ground.
Stop being bitches.
Yeah.
Stop. Again, my job, calling you out. Don't
Yeah.
be a bitch. Screw those guys over there.
Yeah.
What you did was absolutely fine. I have no problem with it. But then, like, psychologists get involved, and there's this one psychologist, Barbara Greenberg, and she was speaking with Yahoo Lifestyle, and she warned that, in general, although embarrassing your kids when they misbehave may seem harmless, it might be doing more harm than good.
Yeah, and that's her opinion, and she's entitled to it. But here's what I got. This is a dad, and that's his son, and nobody's got any business to tell him how to raise or discipline his son within reason.
Yeah.
I'm not talking, you can beat him with a hammer or anything.
Did that kid go get a Switch?
I had to when I was a kid. I got my ass whooped.
I was threatened with one. I never got it.
Yeah, they're like whips, man.
Yeah.
And
what happens when you come back with the small one?
Oh, yeah, that happened. Yeah, I thought I was being slick.
Oh.
Yeah, they go and they get the appropriate size.
They go get the log.
Yeah. But, and you know what? I would stand my ground because it would be an FU moment for me where I'm not taking it down. Oh, you don't like the way I raised my son? Tough shit. Scroll right on past my post on. I really don't care. This guy, grow a backbone, man. You put the dress on, you went through it, own it. Put your post back up.
We can't call him out because it might have been his wife. It might have been his family. Maybe something was going on with the kid at school. Maybe it got too far because of the post. But my problem is people giving him crap for what he did. Now, this is the way I took it.
Hey, raise your own kids.
So he told his kid, stop being lippy with your mom.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be your mom for the day.
Yeah.
So you're not going to talk to me the way you talk to your mom. I'm just going to go throw on her dress, and you're still going to have to deal with me. You know? That's how I got it.
That's kind of how I took it.
And the kid has to get laughed at, and it's going to get over.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Why are we teaching our kids that it's bad to get laughed at? We all get laughed at. We all slip and fall. People laugh at you. They pick you up, and you're okay. Nowadays, somebody laughs at you. That's bullying.
Well, I'm twisted because the more serious the injury, the harder I laugh. I don't know why that is.
It's just it's human nature.
Yeah.
You don't think bad of the person. It was just funny. You go help them up.
Yeah.
After you catch your breath.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm calling an ambulance, it's most likely because I can't catch my breath from laughing so hard. Right. I need oxygen or something. And my wife always says that to me. She goes, what is wrong with you? It seems like the worse the injury, the harder you laugh. I don't know. Maybe it's just, you know what? Maybe I was, I don't know. Maybe I was shamed as a kid. Maybe that's what my problem was.
Well, the psychologist said you're teaching nothing by shaming your children.
Yeah.
She says that she believes that we should teach our kids, quote unquote, repair work. And then there was no definition. So, of course, Ben had to go down the rabbit hole and figure out what the fuck repair work is.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and it seems like repair work focuses on people making amends and working towards apologizing in some way or another for what they did. I am fine with that. I believe in community service, but I also believe in jail and stuff like that. So I looked up some examples of repair work, and it's just a sexual assault week, I guess, but I found an article on 3 men accused of sexual assault where 2 of them were sentenced to repair work. I think the other one got some jail time. So I tried to figure out, well, if they're just getting repair work, what are they, just going to apologize? No, these guys, and I think they were young. They might have even been kids. I can't remember. They have to be in videos for sexual assault. So I'm assuming they have to sit in front of a camera and tell the world that they sexually assaulted somebody.
Yeah, they had to participate in a documentary.
A documentary. All right. How is that any different than shaming them?
Hey, you know what I say?
Is that not shaming?
It's the same thing.
And I'm fine with shaming them like that.
Yeah, and you know what I say? Listen, let the man raise his son, all right? I can appreciate everything she says. Let her raise her children that way. People shouldn't be telling people how to raise their kids. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Listen, it's not like he beat him with a bat that had nails sticking out of it for breaking a piece of chalk. It's nothing like that. Yes, obviously laws protect children from extreme punishment, and things like that.
Yep.
But this, I mean, give me a break.
I'm gonna
break.
Pull back on you a little bit on that. I think we should call out people on the way they raise their kids. So, like you said, he wasn't abusing them, but on the other end, you're too nice, and now you got him crying for decades because Donald Trump is in office.
Yeah.
Instead of working to so you know what? You don't like Donald Trump? Go run. No, I'm not going to go run. I'm going to sit on the corner and cry about how he's abusing us with his words.
Yeah. Toughen up, Cupcake.
The only abuse he gives me is when he misspeaks or he doesn't fucking edit his Twitter properly.
Yeah, I hate that.
Jeez, I
He's
just want to
terrible.
punch myself in the face.
I really wish, listen, if he's gonna tweet that much, at least get a full-time editor on.
Again, I've mentioned it before. Donald Trump, I am available to edit your tweets. You can afford me. I promise.
Oh yeah, I would do it for free.
Shh, I'm charging.
No, I meant only for a few hours a day because he tweets around. That man doesn't sleep.
He doesn't sleep.
He doesn't sleep. He's like a vampire.
He's sucking the souls of the Democrats.
Yeah, he's sucking the blood right out of the Democrats. Speaking of that, I did see on the news today where some ass clown sent explosive devices to 4 or 5 politicians. Or Hillary Clinton to the Clintons, Eric Holder's office, and there were 2 or 3 more. Listen, man, this is not how you settle shit. Okay, if somebody disagrees with you, you don't go cry in your closet and formulate some way to murder them.
So you ready for Ben's conspiracy theory?
I want to hear it. I'm just saying this is not the proper reaction. I can't even believe that somebody,
you're going too far with this, Rick, because I got the Frankie spin on this.
Okay.
You know the Frankie spin, not me. The Frankie spin.
Yeah, here we go.
So, all of these people that got the bombs, weren't they Democrats?
Yeah, they were.
I would almost put money that a Democrat sent them.
You think?
That's the way. That's where I'd put my money.
Yeah, because it would make the Republicans look guilty.
Now they're going to be screaming, "Oh, a Republican hates the Democrats. They're trying to kill the Democrats. Vote for Democrats November." That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what?
And magically, Andrew Cuomo got one too. I heard
CNN got one. You did not say Andrew Cuomo got one. The news source that I seen, it was CNN, Eric Holder, the Clintons, the Obamas.
Yeah, and those were official statements by police or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Don't quote me, but I thought on my way over here I was flipping through and I saw an article that said Andrew Cuomo reveals that he got. It might have been a joke. I don't know. I don't have the article in front of me to quote
you're being
it.
a headline hero.
No,
huh?
I think I am the headline. I'll
Yeah.
be the second headline hero this week. Andrew Cuomo got a pipe bomb from a Democrat.
From a Democrat.
Quote me. This is Rick.
Yeah, great.
All right, so sticking with the news, since we brought up CNN, Who does Megyn Kelly work for? Is she Fox?
She was Fox,
no,
and then she left Fox, and then she was somewhere else. CBS, maybe?
Yeah, it's one of the main NBC, ABC.
NBC.
CBS.
I don't think she's ABC. I think she's NBC, CBS somewhere. Maybe she's ABC. I know she's not UPN, and she's definitely not MTV. But
they can all hate me.
I didn't
realize that.
She works for 3 letters. I don't know what 3 they are.
I didn't realize she's from Syracuse.
I never knew that until
that
I see my notes here that she's from Syracuse.
A lot of people end up going to Syracuse.
Did we kick her out of Syracuse?
I don't know, but it says she grew up in Syracuse and she went to SU. Whereas a lot of people end up going to SU and they say they're from Syracuse.
Yeah,
but
listen, if you graduate from SU or you attend SU, you are not from Syracuse.
Yeah, you didn't get past Irving Ave. So.
Yeah, no. If you haven't been shoveling snow since the age of 2, you're not from Syracuse.
You don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you have
now.
No clue. Okay.
You walked over to the pizza shop, you walked back to your dorm, and you waited for summer.
Yeah, and then went over to the shoe store and got some shoes.
So Megyn Kelly today, she... And I hope you guys are ready because this is where me and Rick are going to get into a little fight, I think. But she said on air that black people wearing whiteface and white people wearing blackface was allowed when she was a child as long as the person was portraying a character. Quote, people said that was racist, and I don't know. I felt like who doesn't love Diana Ross? Now she's talking about some lady from the Real Housewives of whatever I Married to Get Rich show.
Yeah, one of those
that nobody cares about.
Yeah, one of those crazy shows.
Yeah, who cares? So I don't even know why it's a big deal. I don't even know why she's bringing it up. But people love these shows. So anyways, the lady wanted to look like Diana Ross for a day. Megyn Kelly said, I don't know how that got racist on Halloween. After faced with some pushback by her co-hosts, she seemed exasperated, according to this article from The Blaze, which is a tainted news source anyways, but still. Said, I can't keep up with the number of people that were offending just by being normal people. Now here I agree. So if you want to dress up as Diana Ross, say I wanted to dress up as Muhammad Ali.
Dare ya?
Right, but say I did. All right. Do I not put the black face on or brown face? Well, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just skin color. People make a big deal out of it. If you're doing it back like they did in the 50s where you put the black shoe polish on.
Well, and I was going to say, I think this is more where this comes from than, people, I want to word this very carefully. Because I understand both sides of the argument, and I truly understand what you're saying.
Right.
Even though I think you're being obstinate.
Well, here's
I don't
my
think you
other
dress
example.
up as Muhammad Ali, but you're just saying I should be able to dress up at him without backlash. I agree with you.
Right.
But what happened, where this comes from, and I don't know how old Megyn Kelly is.
She's probably my age.
No,
she's probably younger.
Then it was
30.
definitely not socially acceptable to wear blackface if she's younger than you. There was a time where this was socially acceptable, and you had restaurants called Bojangles here in the Syracuse area. If you notice, they're no longer around here. They were kind of run out.
I think there's still Bojangles all over.
There is, but just not in New York because they wanted this one closed down because Bojangles was a negative reference to African American people.
Right, and I get that.
Such as black face, and that's really where that comes from. Now, I don't think in her mind she means it as a racist statement.
So should Robert Downey Jr. be fired and banished because in Operation whatever the hell movie he was in, he portrayed a character, a white person pretending to be a black person just because he put on a black face?
No, he shouldn't. But,
now,
because it's gone too far. You see what I'm saying? It's gone too far. If he lost his job over something like that, it's gone too far. It's not the way it's being taken is not the way he means it to be. And the same thing. And you know what? I don't care for Megyn Kelly. But what I want to say, hold on. Let me finish.
But we're already going too far because Megyn Kelly didn't even do this. All she did was take the stance that I'm taking, the devil's advocate, and saying...
And if you would have let me finish, I would have said, and I understand with her point of view and what she's saying. What she's saying isn't racist. So for people to condemn her, you're not going to tell me her state of mind. You can't.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to prove that her state of mind has a racial undertone to it. That's not what she's saying.
Yeah, she absolutely says
That's not what she's
100%.
saying.
She's just saying
That's why I said
the woman.
I don't particularly care for her, but I'm going to stick up for her here.
Yeah.
Okay?
The problem is anytime somebody wants to say something's racist, now everything is racist.
It's
that
not,
way.
though. It's not.
So
you know what's
we have a
racist?
couple years
A
ago-
white supremacist wearing a black face and carrying on a bad sign about African Americans. That's racist. Okay? What she's saying here
It's not racist.
is not. It's not racist.
But and this is where I wanted to go with this. So, your daughter wants to dress up as the girl from Moana or whatever that Hawaiian thing is.
Let her.
Little girl a couple years ago dressed up like that. There was an outcry of cultural appropriation,
Bullshit.
and this girl didn't even
That's
tint
bullshit.
the color of her face. And these people aren't putting on a black face.
Yeah.
They're just.
Let me
they're
tell you
just
something. That's a little
tanning their
girl who
face.
fell in love with the character and wanted to be just like
That-
her, and then you criticize her for it. Bullshit.
That is a promotion for your race.
Yeah.
But they just want to be offended. That's
Yeah.
my problem with the whole thing.
Everybody wants to be offended.
I don't care. I get don't say certain words, don't say certain phrases. But if for Halloween I want to dress up as Muhammad Ali, if I put on boxing gloves and boxing shorts, who are you going to say I am? I don't do blackface. I just go out there. Who do you say I am? I just put on boxing shorts and boxing gloves.
Well, you know what the problem
I'm
is?
Robert De Niro from Raging Bull.
Oh, no, I wasn't even going there. I was going with that, the white Irish guy there. I don't know his name. But first off, there's a few problems with your story, okay? White heavyweight boxer. Okay, there's the first problem. Name a white heavyweight boxer, or a real one. Just name one.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
But if I put on boxing shorts, I'm going to be Robert De Niro from Raging Bull.
Exactly. By
Right.
default, because there are no white heavyweight boxers
well-
that anybody can name. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, they're going to think that you're Robert De Niro, and you're going to be like, hey, I'm Muhammad Ali. They're going to look at you like you're an idiot.
And they're going to go, no, you're fucking white.
Right.
That's exactly my point right there.
No,
you
I
just,
agree.
You just made my point.
I don't disagree with you,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have to get the point. No, because boxers don't have numbers. I mean, I bet you he did have his own pair of shorts or whatever.
Who knows?
And she could have just put on a wig, to look. I mean,
You know what? You don't condemn a little girl for wanting to
you don't
be...
condemn anybody
Yeah.
for wanting to dress
give
up
me
like
a
a
break.
celebrity. That's
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah,
And you don't condemn somebody for sticking up for somebody who did that.
right.
It's like, how did Megyn Kelly offend the world
She
by
didn't.
saying?
She didn't.
But she did.
No,
And that
she offended a small group of whiny ass assholes that want to
But
make
we
a
have
big
to-
deal out of everything.
and that's the point of this whole thing. We
You
have
know?
that's what I hate about this is that we have to cater.
we
to
don't
these
have
morons.
to cater.
No, but
Yeah.
in this society we do.
Right, but you know what? It's only a perception that we do. You want to know why?
No,
because the
because
majority,
we're
the
not
majority
funded.
thinks more like us.
No, you and we're not funded,
Right.
so
well,
we
no.
don't have to cater to shit.
Right. But what I'm
But
saying is
the
there's
second-
more people like us than the people that are
But that doesn't
offended
mean
at
we don't have to.
everything.
That still means we have to cater to them because if our finances came from advertising, which is what's happening to Megyn Kelly,
Yeah.
and I'm sure everything's going to blow over anyways, but we put too much worth on just these people who get offended. And every week it's the same thing with me, but that's what pisses me off. We put all this worth on these people who get offended, and then we have to stop doing. Roseanne Barr was just killed off of, and what she said literally wasn't a racist statement. It was turned into a racist statement. But if you believe what Roseanne said, and we live in a society where we have to believe everybody, if you believe what she said, she didn't even know the person was black when she said she's acting like a monkey. So I've said people act like a monkey all the time. I've said they've acted like a donkey.
Yeah.
I mean, and then she gets killed off an entire show because they're afraid of losing viewers, which they would have never lost a viewer.
No, they wouldn't have lost a viewer.
Because then they would have lost their funding.
Yeah.
The funding pulls out all the time, and then people just let them.
All right, where are you going? I mean, did Megyn Kelly lose her job and she's replacing
I don't
me
know.
on the
I just-
show?
I-
Is that where you're going
I'm
with this? Because I'm
annoyed.
not sharing a microphone with her.
I'm annoyed with this idea of I hate cultural appropriation and how just somebody dressing up as somebody is racist. It's not racist. And then
No.
somebody sticking up for somebody. My problem is the racism and then catering to these small groups that are just perpetually offended.
Yeah, but you know what? These groups that are perpetually offended, you have to stop catering to them because all it does is feed them.
And that's why I bring this stuff up,
You
is to
know?
keep bringing it up, putting it out there.
Yeah,
Because-
everybody's got to stop feeding into it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're offended? Well, you know what? I understand how you could be offended, but it wasn't meant that way. I'm sorry you were offended. I'm not changing my point of view.
Right. And
It's
I'm
just
not
that
pulling my
simple.
funding.
No, and that's the other thing.
And we
You
need
know,
to start. It's that I think that's my point. We need to start boycotting these companies
Yeah,
that pull their funding for stupid shit.
yeah,
'Cause
because
they
they want to
don't
be
agree with
they
it.
don't want to be on the wrong side of the tracks on an issue.
Do you think these companies, that the head of the company, the people that runs the company, is the super liberal guy?
Yeah.
No, he's the super conservative guy. That's why
Yeah.
he's up there.
Yeah.
Remember that there's no
Yeah.
rich Democrats, Hillary
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton, Cuomo,
All right, so let's end on a nice note today.
Barack Obama. I can think of a lot. Joe Biden.
Yeah, sure.
I love Joe Biden.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But so PBS NewsHour had a story about soldiers and going back to college, and I often wondered why a lot of soldiers didn't go back to college because of the GI Bill. And this story kind of like made it click for me. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
if you think about it, you're in the military like 10, 12 years, and then you have to go back to college, and then you're starting over with a bunch of 18-year-olds.
Yeah, who wants to
You're
do
going to get
that?
discouraged and leave. You're just not going to be able to do
Yeah.
it. So
Ageist. I'm offended.
ageist. So a Colorado law is now giving colleges approval to take these people's military background, learn what they learned, figure out what they did, and apply credits to those different things. So
Yeah.
you have leadership skills, you give them 3 credits in business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now kids are starting a full year ahead,
Right.
which is just a motivational tactic. And you and I are always on whatever we can do for the soldiers to make their life better.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, here's another thing. So a lot of these soldiers go in for like 16 years or whatever. I mean, 34, you get out of the military at 34. All you've done is the military.
I think it's 20. Well, it can end up almost like a civil service job, 20 and out. I mean, they all have different. Some
Yep.
years are 3, 4.
Well, sometimes, you're going for retirement and then
Yeah.
you just don't make it. Like,
Right.
you just can't make it that extra 4 years.
Right.
So, I mean, even if you're 30, you get out of the military, you've been in there 12 years or whatever. Say you started late. You've only been in there 6 years.
Yeah.
But you go back to school and now you're discouraged because you're back with all these little 18-year-olds and you got like 6 years ahead of you. But then you go to get a job and you don't have that degree because for some reason we think degrees make you qualified.
Right.
But then you're also overqualified to work at McDonald's. But then you don't work well in like an office. I mean, there's all these different things. Now you don't get a job. Now you're homeless.
Right.
Well, now you get like a year or 2 worth of credits just by your experience in the military that puts you a little bit ahead, a little bit more motivation. You already know you don't have to take these classes. You get that education, you get that vocational school, and you move on with your life. To me, it just seems like a no-brainer to help benefit them.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
So I just wanted to end on that because I knew the rest of the stuff Ben was being a downer this week.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you brought up some good points. I mean, what have we learned from today's discussion? You're innocent until proven guilty, and not everything everybody says is a racial slur. I mean, come on.
And Cuomo can't debate.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Who's he running against? I know it's Larry Sharpe, but who's the Republican guy?
Molinaro.
Molinaro, yeah.
Which, I was impressed with him. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I can't knock him. He did. Cuomo, just shut up, answer the question. Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. I mean, he's got a bridge named after his family. And, I mean.
Oh, all right. So, not to go all the way back there. I thought we were done, guys, but I have to bring up this. So, there's one point Cuomo kept just bringing up that Molinaro hates LGBTQ. You could see Cuomo like on his fingers trying to remember the acronym.
Yeah, because he doesn't even know what it is.
He was like Q.
Yeah.
But he's like, doesn't like the LGBTQ community, is anti-poor, blah, doesn't know anything about the poor. And Molinaro's like, I grew up on food stamps. And Cuomo just interrupted him, kept going and going and going, and went on and on and on. And then Molinaro jumps back in and is like, I grew up on food stamps. I know exactly what it's like to come up with the streets.
Yeah.
He goes, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. And then Cuomo was like, yeah, neither did I. Just like that.
What?
I started laughing.
Oh,
I was
my
sitting there
God.
with my wife. I had tears coming out of my eyes.
That's crazy.
Your daddy has a bridge named after him.
Yeah.
He brought you up through all that. He was rich before he was a governor.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your fucking mouth, you piece of shit.
Wow.
That right there, he lost any respect I had for him.
Yeah. You know what, though?
The way, I wish you could have seen it. You got to find a video of just him saying,
they're gonna
neither
show that
did
clip.
I.
Yeah, they're going to show that clip because here's what they're going to show. They're going to show him saying he didn't grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth, him saying America was never that great, and what was the other one? He said something. Oh, he said something else too. You know, there's a few sound bites out there where he's just said some not so smart stuff.
Yeah, he was not prepared yesterday.
Well, I got to tell you, that's probably why, he's stalled off, waited to the last minute to debate. And that's why he probably only picked Molinaro instead of debating even more people. See, he understands there's not enough Republicans in New York to vote in a Republican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
So there's no fear in him debating Molinaro because Molinaro could beat him and it's not going to mean anything.
Right.
He's still going to have his Democratic voters. Just the Republicans are going to say, yeah, I know my vote's not going to get him in, but I'm going to vote for him. So, and that's where candidates like Larry Sharpe come from. They can draw in, voters from both parties and stuff. But he had nothing to lose.
No.
And that's why he waited. He can't debate. He's terrible at it.
Yeah.
Okay? And if he wants to challenge me and say he's not, I'll debate him about it and I'll prove my point even more.
Well, I mean, if you could talk louder than him because he's going to interrupt you.
Yeah, the only way I'd agree to it is if they shut the mic off.
I don't know why I kept saying that. I'm like, just shut the mic. Just shut the mic off. Just
Yeah.
shut the mic off.
Never
happened.
And there is another debate coming up where it's the other candidates and the
Molinaro.
Republican, but
I doubt. I bet you.
It's only a lose if he goes. It's only a lose if he goes.
I think his party's going to talk him into it.
I think
They're gonna just the way it looks, him not going. But then I think he's going to do the same strategy where he just spends the entire time trying to talk over everybody.
Well, that's what he needs to do.
Throwing dirt.
That's
throwing
what he
mud.
needs to do. He needs to talk as much as he can so nobody else has any speaking time, because if they can't talk, nobody can hear their view. And then, when they do, he's going to throw some dirt and interrupt.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I would expect that to go. And you know what makes somebody act like that? Fear and insecurity.
I think also being spoiled.
Yeah, it's almost like,
He's not used to people talking back to him.
or he's not used to being challenged.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someday we'll name a crosswalk after him, or maybe a statue. We'll rename a bridge.
No, not another
that one
bridge.
out on
Not another Cuomo
54
bridge.
that 2 cars a year go over it. We'll call it the new Coumo Bridge. I don't know.
Alrighty, well, that's been the Purple Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Ben.
I'm Rick.
Follow along at purplepoliticspodcast.com, Twitter at Rick and Ben, Facebook at Politically Purple. If you've liked this episode or any of our previous episodes, please go on that podcast platform of your choice. Leave us a nice 5-star review. Those reviews are the best way to support any program, and we sure would appreciate it. Talk to you again next week.